but I'm trying to get myself up and active off my ramp. I don't know, just out of the house. Because I need to get going, you know? That I do know. I need to get going. I sometimes wonder, maybe, feeling a little experimental. Here's my favorite hair oil, the Yves Rocher one. Like, sometimes I'm like, feeling like anointing my face with oil today, just putting some oil on my face. And I've just been rubbing the oil through my hair. Like, I didn't put it on my hair as much the last couple days, actually. My hair's been feeling so soft. Like, this particular wash cycle, it's just been really soft. So, you know, I think the thing that really helped was I felt like the leave-in detangling spray was really detangling my hair. But looking back, I don't know. I don't really feel like it was. Like, I still use this one. I do love this Garnier 10-in-1 leave-in conditioner, which I definitely use after I wash my hair. I still use that. But I'm just finding that going longer between washing again, but running water through my hairbrush and getting my hair wet. And then if you take a shower, like, I don't do anything fancy. I know some people have like all these different fancy ways of like doing what they call like a root rinse, but I guess basically I'm not exactly like washing my hair, but when I'm taking a shower, I let the water hit my roots, and sometimes I'll massage like gently, just very gently. So I still definitely wash my hair, but when I do wash my hair, I do it heavy, like a clarifying shampoo. So, but I feel like just trying to keep like, because in the past I used to be like, oh, it's okay to get conditioner on your scalp, and I still kind of get it there a little bit, but I found lately I'm just trying to, it doesn't have to be exactly mid to ends for me. Like, it can be like here to here. I just think a little bit less on the root is better. And then if you feel like I don't know, I've also been doing not like a strategic scalp massage, but just like kind of massaging my scalp a bit, but just getting the water in your hairbrush and letting the water hit your scalp. It just feels so amazing for my scalp, you know? And I no longer have like that sticky, because I used to think like the leave-in conditioners were so good for my hair, but I feel like they make your hair sticky. Not this one, not the Garnier one, but some of them, like the detangling, I used to feel like they were really good for detangling. Maybe the ones for kids are. Like, you know, I haven't bought a kitty one in like over a decade, but I remember like in 2013 I bought one, and people were probably like, she bought children detangler. I remember that one was good, but I'm kind of thinking you don't need it, actually. I think oil by itself is the perfect detangler. Because, let's be honest, it's tangle time. There are some pictures of me where I wore my hair loose when it was a lot longer. But it's just not my favorite thing because I hate tangle time. And then the tangles just form in certain places because I just feel like with wavy hair, it's like, let's tangle together in the back of the nape of your neck. And honestly, like, I noticed on Instagram, which, you know, I'll be honest with you about Instagram. I think the only reason I started it was because years ago, there were a lot of people that were following my channel when it, I don't know, like it was kind of booming, starting to boom. They're like, why aren't you on Instagram? So I felt like, oh, I should create a following on Instagram. But recently, like, I posted a couple things that I feel were more honest about my hair journey, and I did it here on YouTube too, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, there's people, they're like, oh, I love your hair when it's loose, but it's like they only see that one side of you and your hair. And I did come out straight out and say I'm not growing my hair for like men, but it's true. I'm not growing my hair long for a man because that would make no sense. Like, I don't use my life to validate other people or to be validated. You know, I just want to do things that make me happy, and if people enjoy that I have long hair, I think that's cool, you know. But I do think it's very unhealthy that we live in a culture, society of any kind where people think somebody does something to like make another person happy, and without being very specific about it, I just have seen that this is, I've just noticed this, okay? So I feel like as an adult child, I'm not going to be super specific because, you know, I don't really want to. That's not really what my channel's about. But I've noticed, like, there's adults, okay? And they have adult children that maybe they should help more sometimes, my thinking. But some adults had children when they were adults. Well, you should be an adult when you have a child. But I guess what I'm trying to convey is they had children, but maybe they didn't want to have children, but they wanted to have children, but they didn't want to have children. But I don't know, it could be a cultural thing, maybe a little bit, but I don't think so, because there's a lot of people that are culturally, you know, this way, and they love being like very like parent-like. But there are some people in this culture and society and world that think, well, oh my God, my spouse is spending time on the kids. What about me with a shiny coat? They're acting like a little doggy that's not getting attention, okay? And then sometimes it happens as adults too. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you have a child, you are 100% fully responsible for said life, and their needs go above yours, okay? And their sibling is not responsible for them in this lifetime. And it always kind of is like, okay. And I don't ever want to go deep into it, because I used to talk about things like this, but the point being is, I think parents are responsible for their kids beyond their 18th birthday. And even more so, maybe, in this new economy. That's what I think. So I just think it's kind of presumptuous to think like, oh my gosh, like my wifey poo should make me happy and do everything I want to make my life feel the most relaxing and exciting. But the child, like if a child needs help, you should want to do more. But that's not always the case. And a lot of people just, I guess, they think when they have other children, that's their own other children's job to like do things and to be emotionally supportive to a sibling that might have a problem. But you know, I don't want to go there. I just think that's a very dysfunctional view. And I guess I read something this morning like this man was mad because his wife was spending time with the kids, and what about him? I'm like, you're a grown man. What were you doing to help her? Like, I don't know. And it brought back this memory, and I just don't want to be super specific or super negative, because honestly, I don't have those problems. That's not my problem, even though other people want to try and make me feel like their problems are my problem, you know? I can do something to help people, but you can only do so much to help other people. If they don't want to help themselves, there's a limit to that, you know? But I do think that this selfish mentality that we have in our culture is just, what the heck? Like, honestly, it's your child from the time it's a baby to the time that you are passing. Your final obligation should be 100% on said child. And I just remember my grandpa Jim, really amazing guy, that when he was passing away, in his will, he arranged for, I don't know, like, my aunt and uncle to have, like, he did things for them because he knew a couple of them needed more help. And he was like in his 80s and they were in their 50s, but he still was taking care of them, you know, he was still doing things for them. And I just think sometimes you have to be like that. I know it's not popular, I guess, especially in America, like where, oh, like, the child's 18, they're free, but so why did you have kids, man? Like, you knew, you know. And I know some people are like, but I didn't want to have kids. And then it can get worse and worse, because then there's ones that didn't even help raise the child. So I guess it's potatoes. But the point being is, if you have a child, the obligation to it doesn't end when it's 18. And other siblings are not put on this earth to try and make the child that doesn't want to make its life better be better. I mean, you can do certain things, but when you just reach a point that I've done everything on this planet to perpetuate that, to make this situation better, and it never gets better, and yeah, if it never can get better because that person is choosing, but you still know in your heart, you feel like, maybe the parent needs to help the adult child more. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I just think, yeah, stop being so selfish. I'm so sick of people talking about, my needs and my wants. Like, if you're an adult, you can make yourself happy. Your spouse even isn't put on this earth to make you happy. You are put on this earth to make you happy. So people are not put on this earth to entertain you. I don't know. Go watch a Netflix show. If you're such a sad sack that your wife, like, spending time on her kids throws you off kilter, I don't know. Find something to do. Take up a hobby. It's just very silly, right? You know? I don't get this way of thinking, but whatever. I think what it is, too, is some people, they don't like when an adult child, or even a child isn't what they dreamed of, but here's the crux of that. You don't get to predict and decide what your child's going to be. You know, you can't control that. So sometimes you need to help them more. But I don't know. But then it comes down to the other siblings. Like, if you are in a situation where you feel like you're guilt tripped to do more, that you should be doing more, and that you're not doing enough, even though you've done everything for the last 15, 16, 17 plus years to try and make that situation better. Like, basically, over half of their life, you tried to help that person over half of their life. Like, it comes down to the point that you might have been helping that person almost longer than they were a child in their parents' house. Then there's only so much you can do. You know, and I thought about that too. So you have to absolve yourself from the guilt, because I know. Also too, California healthcare, mental health care, is not good. Bad. Very, very bad. I should be able to tell someone that person needs help, the sibling, and they should listen to me. If they're not listening to me, they're not taking it seriously. And that's kind of why California has a mental health crisis with a lot of homeless people. I really didn't want to get dark. I wanted to have more of a positive topic. I tried to be positive lady, because that's what I try to reflect in my content. You know, I've always wanted to have a positive persona, and I don't think it's good to go down this hole of negativity, because I just don't believe in that. But I think there comes a time I can try one more time to try and help this person. I can try one more time. But I just think I've exhausted all of my options, especially when nobody else wants to help because of their behavior. But it was just always thrown back on me, like, I'm the one that can do it, I'm the one that they listen to, I'm the one that, but no, they never did, because it got so bad that they couldn't live with me anymore. That's how bad it was. They absolutely couldn't live with me anymore because of property damage and things they did to the neighbors, and I couldn't handle it. So I needed them to be with their parent, but apparently that doesn't work out either. So I don't want this negative dark topic. I don't believe in negative dark topics, okay? I just don't. I think you have to try and find the positivity in everything. Maybe that sounds a little Pollyanna, I don't know, but I'm just going to try one more time and see what I can do for her. But I've exhausted all my options, and California, I love California, it's a beautiful state, but let's be real. We have a lot of problems when it comes to how they deal with mental health, and apparently people have to be running in front of traffic or doing something really bad because you can take them somewhere and tell a mental health provider, or I don't know, just a medical worker, they need help, they need an evaluation. You tell them that, they're like, oh, well, I need to ask them, and then just ignoring you. because that's the way the cookie crumbles now. Like, I get it. I get what the thought was behind it. They didn't want people to be locked away against their will. That was an extreme. That was bad. But on the other end of the spectrum, there's a problem. Because right now, I've talked about this before, and I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just to the point that I can walk anywhere in my city. I feel comfortable, but a lot of people do get sketched out and freaked out, like when they see transient people walking around that might say various things, and they might say, oh, we just got out of prison, and a lot of people don't like that, and they feel very scared, and they have a right to. But the thing is, I'm not saying that you have to hide away all the time, but there is a problem. Like, they said that they were going to do something, our state was going to do something to help these people, but I don't really see that enough is being done, and a lot of taxpayer dollars went into it, a lot, and I don't think it's being used right. Okay, I think we already knew that, but I don't know. I just need to try and fix the problem and help this person again on my own, because I'm not gonna. I can try one more time, but it's just gonna be with me trying to get them to get help. And yeah, it seems like I've been requested on this quest to try and get them to go do the right thing, and we'll see. I just don't. I've been trying for quite a long time to make that happen, and that's why you can only really, to be positive, honestly, rely on the actions of your own. Like, you can't really, like, place, like, your hopes and dreams on other people, because other people are their own entity, and they might disappoint you, and I just don't think it's healthy to find anything to derive joy, comfort, love, affection, hope, whether it be a partner or a child or a friend, from anybody. I like people, I can be friends with people, but you have to have all those things from within yourself. And I don't know, a lot of people, they want somebody to do things to make them happy. And I feel like, basically, I'm just always tasked with, like, I do like to make people happy, but it's like I'm always the one that's supposed to make things better, and I try, I do try. But then it's going to come down to, is this person going to make a better choice? I don't know. I can suggest things, but I'm not real happy for them. I'm happy for me, so I'm going to just continue to live my own little life and just be happy, because I'm at a point in my life where I just want to enjoy my time and do things, and then all of a sudden this thing came back, the situation where it was so unbearable, and I was supposed to be thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know, I tried the other day, I tried. How many more times can I try? I really can't try that much longer, but it is what it is. It's what it is, really. It's not a beautiful thing. Well, I think life is beautiful, okay? I believe life is beautiful, but I think California mental health care is trash. That's what I think, because they're not doing anything to help people that need help, because the laws are such that, well, they're okay with homeless people just wandering the streets, and this happens every day of the week. You see people just wandering around, they definitely need help. So instead of, like, creating some sort of shelter, by the way, there were taxpayer dollars for this, okay? Or some sort of facility where people could go. There were taxpayer dollars put into all these programs. It doesn't really seem like there's any accounting for what they're doing with those funds, And this has happened in other times. Like, there was supposed to be housing for veterans, like, that were homeless. There was supposed to be housing for other, like, it just seemed like it wasn't really materializing what they were doing,